Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, the drivers of the Tobacco Road Next Gen Cup Series, they're taking their talents to a historic, iconic, prestigious track. When we just got a few years ago in the iRacing official service, we are at beautiful virtual North Wilkesboro, and the drivers of the Tobacco Road Next Gen Cup Series set to do battle here tonight in what will be an undoubtedly fun and maybe chaotic race. We'll have to see how it goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, my name, Mac Nelson, joined in the booth by Mr. Emmett Crow. Emmett, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Mac. It's great to be back with you. Welcome back. We had a exciting race last week at Talladega, and James McRae picked up that one. I hated it for Brandon Lopez because he was so close to getting that first win.
Yeah, well, I was absent last week, had a little bit of a trip to Las Vegas. Can't say that I regret it because it was a very, very fun trip. It was much needed. Glad to be back, though. Glad to be here watching and witnessing the Tobacco Road Next Gen Cup Series. And we're getting set to grid here as maybe a little bit of problems with the overlay. I'll try to handle that as we go through the night tonight. We'll go through your starting grid. Nate Lesko is going to be on pole with James McRae on the outside of row number 1. Billy Jordan coming in P3. That Quantum Motorsports 41 with James Johnson in that legendary Lowe's 48. He sits in P4. Defending champion Gary Braylon sits in P5 with Patrick Millett in P6 in the Diet Coke car. Row number 4 is going to be GT Irizarry and Brandon McLaughlin. Row number 5, Kyler Adams with Travis Everett in P10. In P11 sits the 77 of Casey Gross with Johnny Thunders in that number 60 Quantum Motorsports car. In P12, Chad Lancaster in the 02. LNG Power Sports and Power Wash owner Joe Bonner sits in P14. Blake Cannon ever so quick in the 44. I'm sure he will have a lot of positions he wants to make up here in this race. David Bush III sits in P16 with Quack Pack Racing driver Brad Harris in P17. Scott Matthews in P18. That's outside row number 9. Moving on to row number 10 sees Chris Toppings and Chris Perry. And that is going to be the end of our grid. So a 20-car grid here tonight. Going to be really cool. Emmett, what do you expect to see out of North Wilkesboro here? 200 laps.
Well, I was speaking with some of these drivers tonight, Mac, and they were talking about, first thing, they can make it to the stages on fuel. So green flag pit stops are out of the question until stage 3. But I was talking to them, and you even saw in practice. I mean, a lot of guys were spinning out, and they said it's going to be pure chaos tonight. It's going to be the strongest survive. So that's what we're looking for tonight, Mac.
Well, it's going to be one heck of a show. I have no doubt about that. iRacing official pace car going to make one more trip around before we get started here tonight. Nice camera view brought to you by Track Cams 22. That's Track Cams for Gourmet. We are in race number 8 of the 20-week calendar. We've got 200 laps here, 4 sets of rubber. And after the race here tonight, Emmett, we head to Homestead, and what a time it will be there.
Yeah, it's going to be ripping the fence. It's going to be high speed, and it's always fun when you get to Homestead.
But before we get to Homestead, we have got to get through North Wilkesboro. The cars are going to start getting a little louder as we go green here at North Wilkesboro. As Nate Lesko off to a fantastic start already inside turn numbers 1 and 2, Emmett. He looked like he shot out of a cannon there out of turn 2.
Yeah, definitely got shot out of a cannon. And, you know, Nate, he got caught up in that late race wreck at Talladega, so definitely trying to rebound. Rocking the Hooters Nesquik scheme this week, Mac.
Oh, we're getting a little spicy. It's like when you turn 18 or you turn 21 and you drop the Mio in the vodka and you're like, ooh, that's just some spicy water. Hooters and Nesquik, not a collab I would have thought I saw. We are already yellow, unfortunately. Looks like Brandon McLaughlin, Brad Harris, and Chris Perry are all going to go for a little bit of a tumble. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, it's going to be the 81 of Brandon McLaughlin, just right into the wall off contact with, I believe that might be the 14 of GT Irizarry. And it looks like, oh, he's going to have a little bit of a collection agency here. Oh, yeah.
Nobody. That was quick. Close.
Mm.
I was just going to point out that GT Irizarry did claim that, so he will be getting an EOL.
Okay, good to know. GT Irizarry kind of bearing the responsibility of that one. So we already, no discourse. We are only 3 laps in, 4 or 5 laps now, so no discourse now. That is good. We move on a little bit. I know North Wilkesboro is when friendships and alliances tend to get really testy, Emmett. Is it just nerve-wracking driving it somewhere like North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking. You know, this track, we're so happy to have it back, and it's such a special track. You know, we see these cars. The first race we saw here, Kyle Larson just waxed the field, and then they went back and they were like, okay, this is what we got to do, fix the tires and everything, and it's actually produced some great racing here back at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think this track is definitely kind of one-line dominant, but it's going to be very hard to maintain, you know, that optimal line when these tires start getting old and they start getting worn out. It's going to be really hard to set that car along that bottom line, and so that's when you really start to see, you know, the overtakes around the outside, you know, who can wrestle the car around the corners better in the long runs.
Yeah, it definitely is when you start seeing that. It's really about the tires. You know, we don't have the option where you can switch the tire compound like they can IRL. So, I mean, it's all about managing your tires as these runs go along. This is a 200-lap race, Max, so you just got to manage your equipment and be there at the end is the keys probably to win here.
Yeah, that's very good takeaways, as I'm sure it is. It seems to be pretty right. But we are going to get set here for our second start of the night. We are green flag racing here at North Wilkesboro, and Nate Lesko again off to a fantastic start in turns 1 and 2. Watch out for the 48 of James Johnson, however. Here he comes, trying to make a run down the top side. He's going to have the run on James McRae, but whoa, he's going to wash way up in turns 3 and 4. That's going to allow for McRae to get his spot back, and here comes defending champion Gary Braylon. Now he's going to wrestle the 48 for this P3 position, and he's not quite clear.
Man.
Yeah, the 48's going to slide right back in front of him, Emmett.
Yeah, the 48 slid right back in front of him, but he got shot out to the outside, and there's no grip there, Mac. But as that race goes on and that rubber builds up, watch out for that high side to come into play. But, yeah, James McRae is on that momentum. Like I said, winning at Talladega last week. So definitely riding in here with some momentum, and you can see it early on.
Yeah, he seems to be off to a pretty good pace. In P2 is James McRae, JC Esports driver. He's always a guy that he's up there. And, you know, like you said, he has good form right now. So why not? Why not James McRae here at North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, why not James McRae exactly? As this is his type of, you know, this is his wheelhouse. The short tracks is where he loves to run. We've seen it at Iowa, and the other ran really good at Bristol. So James McRae's in his wheelhouse tonight, Mac.
Yeah, someone else in their wheelhouse is not going to be Patrick Millett. I was just about to put the cameras on him. He had made a really nice overtake on Travis Everett right before that happened. We'll go back and take a look. You see around the bottom side. And,
it just got loose.
Yeah, it just got loose. That's really unfortunate. Couldn't really correct it going down the front straight. And that is sad to see. That's sad to see out of someone like Patrick Millett, because I am not accustomed to him. I don't know if he was here last week, because I was, you know, I was off in another world last week in Vegas, so, you know, I didn't really keep up with much. I don't know, is this week his debut week, or was he here last week?
He was here last week, and he ran really good at Daytona and was very aggressive, making some great moves, but made a block too late and ended up taking himself out, and there was a huge wreck late on in that race that set up a green-white checker.
Well, that is kind of how it goes on those super speedways. You either get lucky or you don't. Unfortunately for him, it was the latter. But here, starting out at North Wilkesboro, he was making a good run. He had a little bit of a slip-up. Now, he needs to, you know, get that frame of mind reset. He needs to get locked back in, because by no means is his night over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're only on lap 16, and like I said, back, this is a 200-lap race, so we got a long way to go. Just, he's got to get it under his belt and just shake it off and just keep running and see what happens.
Yeah, of course, of course. Very wise words. Looks like lights are going to be on the pace car, so we'll go at least one more time around here. Nate Lesko still out front. Currently in the lead. It's a 2 Toyota lockout. It's a front row Toyota lockout, I should say. Nate Lesko and James McRae both in that Camry. Gary Braylon, defending champion in that 99 Mustang. It's what granted him so much success last season. He won the title, coming for, you know, a two-peat, and we'll go through the driver's points really quick before we start racing here again. James McRae is going to lead the points. 10 points behind is going to be Blake Cannon. Travis Everett in third with that 303. He's only 14 points down. We'll pull that up again when we have a little more time to dissect it. We are green flag running here again, starting lap number 18. And James McRae, being championship leader, it feels like the whole world is in his hands right now, Emmett.
Yeah, he's doing a great job leading this pack. And, you know, Nate Lesko has done a great job on these type of tracks. And then also, you know, we've seen him on the mile and a half have success. So Nate Lesko showing why he's got that high I rating. Great driver for sure.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic. He seems to always know what to do when it comes to the strategy of a race. It seems he always knows where to place his car to be in the safest yet best position possible. It just seems like, I mean, it seems like we're glazing Nate Lesko a lot here, but genuinely, he just always makes the right choices.
Yeah, he definitely does. And as we see right here, just separating himself from the field, doing a great job getting away with all the chaos we've had early on, Mac.
Yeah, it has been chaotic, but it's been a little bit of controlled chaos. It doesn't seem like people are, necessarily getting straight lined, or, people are being ran off the track or into the walls. It seems like a lot of self-error here, and I think if the drivers can kind of clean that up, we will be fine, as James Johnson coming in with a whole ton of speed into that corner. Now, he can do that, Emmett, but if my knowledge is correct here, he's going to burn up his tires when he sets the car that fast into the corner.
Yeah, definitely going to burn up the tires, so you don't want to see that early on. But, I mean, when you're out that far, I mean, you really don't have to worry about anyone coming up near you, Mac.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. He does have some room to play with. He's got a 6.5 of a second lead over Mr. Gary Braylon, but behind Gary Braylon, there's another very fierce competitor in the number 13 Mustang of Travis Everett. We saw him in the driver point section. He is up there on the podium for the Drivers' Championship right now. If you're someone like Travis Everett who's consistent but can't necessarily get over the hump, Emmett, what's kind of your thought process to get to that next level?
Well, it's weird because we saw Travis Everett be unbelievably fast and, had the momentum in the first part early on in the season, and he's hit a little bit of a rough patch. So, a couple wrecks knocked him out, including last week. So he's just got to get back to his winning ways, and tonight would be a great place for it to start, Mac.
Yeah, I agree, and it seems like these two that you see in the center of your frame right now, they are always next to each other on the racetrack. It's the 44 of Blake Cannon, the LNG Power Sports driver. We'll flash that up thanks to LNG's Power Washing and Power Sports for hopping on to the series, or on to the network, I should say. You can see their business card right there. Out of Millersburg, Pennsylvania, if you need some power washing done, and if you need some sim racing magic done, hit up the LNG Power Sports team. Yeah, Blake Cannon, who is a driver for this team, owned by the 22 of Joe Bonner, currently in this race. He's quick. Every single week, he is quick.
Yeah, we saw that at Daytona when he was running second. It got taken out in that last lap wreck, but then we saw it later on at Watkins Glen, where nobody could touch him, Mac. And then we go to Bristol, and he dominates that race. So Blake Cannon might give Gary Braylon and James McRae, all these guys, James McRae, also Gary Braylon, because he's the defending champion. But Blake Cannon might be in that final chase when we get to the championship race, Mac.
Yeah, in my opinion, I agree 100%, Emmett. He is on the very top when it comes to raw pace. He has a little bit of turmoil during races that gets him into a little bit of trouble, but he's up 11 spots right now, and honestly, every single track he goes to seems like it is just poetry in motion for him. As Kyler Adams, I believe, had a little bit of a unintended pit entry. We'll go back and take a look at that. Kyler Adams, who I think this might have been what you were talking about earlier. He had a little bit of a reaction about. Yep.
Gosh.
Yeah, Kyler Adams just nose first into the wall, and that's what you said, Emmett. The driver said you can expect that tonight.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in practice. And shout out to David Bush for not throwing the caution out right there, because he was able to get it to pit road. So we stayed green, Mac.
Yes, sir. David Bush, I believe, joining us last week while I was away. I got a chance to talk to him for a minute before the race started here tonight. And, yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. So big shout out to David Bush for race control. I have no idea if he's doing this for, like, a hustle or, like a gig or whatever. But, hey, if you need a race control, hit him up. He seems to be a good lad. Nate Lesko still out here in the lead on lap 36, about to complete it as soon as he comes out of turn number 4. And Emmett, he's got a 2.5 second lead already over James McRae.
Yeah, Nate Lesko is just driven away from the field. I mean, he must be drinking that Nesquik and getting really. Oh man, there's some more smoke over there. As another car had trouble. That's gonna be Joseph Bonner having trouble getting onto pit road. Mac.
Yeah, LNG Power Sports and Power Washing owner. We'll go take a look at that. Just seems to be a little bit of the same, just a little bit too much throttle
Oh my gosh,
input.
same thing.
Yeah, it is the
Wow.
exact same thing, Emmett. And, you know, what's something you can tell, you know, anybody watching who might be getting into the iRacing official service, if they find themselves on a short track and they keep spinning out when they come out of a corner, what's the best way to kind of negate that or avoid that?
So, you know, I had that problem for years, and that's why I got out of iRacing, because it seemed like I just spun out every time. But I learned throttle control, and that's what it really is, Mac. Like, when you feel the back end starting to come out on you, just get on the brakes just a little bit, just a little bit on the brakes, and then manage your throttle control. If you get onto it too soon, you're going to go around. If you get on it too late, you're going to go around. So you just got to feather it in the corner, let it roll through the center, and then get on it and stomp that gas and drive it like you stole it.
Well, that is a good analogy there. And driving like he stole it, Blake Cannon up 12 spots up to P3. Him, James McRae, and James Johnson all having a battle for this P2 position. And these guys, you know, obviously Nate Lesko in a league of his own, but when you take a step down off the pedestal, seems like these guys have just got it on lock.
Yeah, they've got it on lock for sure. And, you know, this year it looks to be between Blake Cannon and James McRae. Oh, Blake got a little loose right there, but it just seems like these two right here are the most consistent. And James Johnson, throw him in that hat as well. They're just the most consistent this year in the Tobacco Road Sim Next Gen Cup Series.
Yeah, James Johnson, in my opinion, has a little bit of a gap on the rest of the grid when it comes to those 1.5-mile tracks, you know, your Michigan, your Texas, stuff like that. But he is still very talented on the short track side of things as well. I mean, he's running P4 in a pretty stacked Tobacco Road sim racing grid here. And Blake Cannon out in front of James McRae, still up 13 spots into P2. But all this battling is just allowing James Johnson to creep up and insert himself into this picture.
Yeah, James Johnson, he says, I want to party with y'all. And he's right up on the back of James McRae. It looks like, Mac, James McRae's car might be going away and tires might be coming into play for James McRae.
Yeah, James McRae running a fair bit slower than the rest of the grid on that last lap. I'm not sure if he just made, you know, a glaring mistake in that lap or if that's his, you know, genuine pace right now. We'll have a little better look as, yeah, James McRae, unfortunately, is just going to be a lot slower than these other top three guys. So James Johnson is a much faster car per lap, but he's got to figure out a way to safely get around James McRae.
Yeah, he's got to find a way to get around James McRae, and we saw these two race, you know, we've seen them race a lot. Oh, he was singing Lean on
and
Me
he's around!
Right there. Same thing, Max. Same corner, same exact thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the little bit of contact that we saw between McRae and Johnson, I think James Johnson never quite got his car happy with the road again, and so I think that was just a compounding mistake that turned into him going around.
Well, and here's the thing, you know, we used to look at as we take another look at the replay, but we used to look at that in the Gen 6, Gen 5, Gen 4. If two cars got side by side and they touched and they banged fenders, then they cut the tire down. But with this Gen 7 car being built like a tank, these things are just like you can't cut the tire down from the fender.
Yeah.
And we see that now, but there's still that little pocket of airbag that if you get too close with somebody for too long, you're going to end up going beep, and you're going to go around, as we saw James Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff happens, and we see quarter of the way through, drivers coming into the pit lane. Pretty much everybody going to take a stop. Nate Lesko, Billy Jordan, the only they're just gonna stay out. Nate Lesko, we see this every single week from Nate Lesko, it seems like, but he always has some sort of alternate strategy, and it always works.
Yeah, and you know what that tells me? Lesko, he's wanting to win this stage and get those points. You know, that's the thing about this new chase system. And we see it in the Cup Series on Sundays. With this new chase system, everybody's wanting stage points. They're risking everything for those stage points. And sometimes it could cost you a win, or sometimes it could play in your favor. You never know, Mac, for sure.
Yeah, and it seems like Nate Lesko is always on the very good side of those, split decisions. It seems like he's always got a leg up on the rest of the grid when it comes to strategy. Another driver who seems to be very good when it comes to the strategic approach to races is the number 14 of GT, Irizarry. He's starting right behind your leader, Nate Lesko, and he is somebody who loves these restarts. He loves these short runs. He always seems to get himself figured out on these short runs. We are green flag running here at North Wilkesboro. Again, 148 laps to go in week number 8 of the Tobacco Road Next Gen Cup Series.
Yeah, this is something right now as GT Irizarry. These two, they were trying, but here's the thing, Mac, with Irizarry trying to battle with Jordan, that allowed Lesko to drive away, and we got them 3 wide back at the back.
Yeah, a lot of drivers wanting to fight for position. It seems to be that the short flag run, or the short green runs, the 1, 2, 3 lap runs, that's where everybody seems to kind of be aggressive in these short track situations. Everybody wanting to jump as high as they can up the grid during these first few laps.
Yeah, everybody's just trying to get where they want to be, and just see, oh, look right there. Blake Cannon able to drive around Billy Jordan. Billy Jordan, he's a setting duck out there on a pond, Mac.
Yeah, the Quantum Motorsports driver. Number 41, it looks like Casey Gross, the other Quantum Motorsports driver, has had a little bit of a moment. James Johnson in the 48 is also around.
Yeah, and that's what I saw it out of the corner of my eye when we were looking at the battle with Cannon and Jordan. I saw James Johnson go around, and then I just saw him stacking up behind him.
Yeah, so it looked like the 7 of Scott Matthews tapped the 48 of Johnson just a little bit. That's going to cause calamity further down the track as Casey Gross goes around off a little bit of contact. It looks like Joseph Bonner might have got a little bit. Brandon McLaughlin in the 81 also catching a stray. But like you said, these cars are tanks, so hopefully not too much damage on the side of these drivers.
Yeah, not too much damage on the side of these cars. Is Casey Gross, who ran a great race last week at Talladega, excuse me. I got my super speedways mixed up. But not so lucky this week, Mac.
Yeah, but Nate Lesko out in front. Is he lucky or does he make his own luck? That decision is for you guys to decide, but he sits out front through all of this turmoil, and, he is in a prime spot to win this stage.
Yeah, in a prime spot. We're coming down to it. It's going to be a mad dash to this stage. And I want to tell you something, Max, something interesting. Lesko, if he doesn't pit, he's going to line up next to Cannon, so that's very interesting for sure.
Yeah, I think that is going to be something we kind of lead on to with this stage and the next stage. I think the battle between Lesko and Cannon might be generational tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be generational, and, I'm looking forward to it, and this is what we've been wanting to see as we're hearing a little radio chatter going on with the drivers as they're discussing the last accident. But It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, we look right here. I wish I had a telestrator because Travis Everett is also someone you got to circle as we're coming to the green, Mac.
Yep, I agree. Travis Everett, he's always going to be opportunistic. He's always going to look for that chance to jump place, maybe get a little heist of a win. He likes making those last lap passes. We've seen it in the past. We are green flag racing here again. Nate Lesko in the number 20. It just seems to be clockwork at this point. He's always getting a very good start, as that's going to be another quantum car around.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the stage. So Lesko able to stay out, and he's going to win the stage back. And, you know, that's some great strategy from that team.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look right at the drop of the green flag. I mean, it seems that, just a little bit of contact between Gary Grayland and Billy Jordan.
Well, and the thing also, remember, Jordan did not come in, so he's on those older tires, so that could have also played a factor in it as well, as they're discussing right now back about the stage. Let's see what they say.
So a little bit of, I'm not going to say controversy, because I don't think anybody's really going to care all that much, but a little bit of impromptu here. That's the pleasure of being on the iRacing official service. We kind of bend the rules at our will. We do what we need to do. And Nate Lesko comes into the pit. This is going to be his first
look at the
pit
fake
stop.
out.
Yeah, it's going to be the first pit stop of the race for Nate Lesko here.
So this is interesting because they're saying, well, that will end it because they said 66 would be it. But, you know, that's an interesting call that Lesko stayed out. But it paid off for him, Mac. And that car tells me that it's fast on a long run. So if we get some long runs, they better hope it's a bunch of short runs because I don't think anybody's going to keep Lesko.
Yeah, Nate Lesko, he very, very good under these extreme runs. You know, his endurance is crazy when it comes to being out on these long green flag runs. So I agree 100% with what you say. If we stay green here in the latter stages and, you know, for the rest of the race, he is going to be in a very good spot. But if we do have these short runs, it's going to be very detrimental towards his chance of getting back up towards the top of the grid.
But here's the thing. That means that Nate Lesko, with him pitting, that's going to give the stage win to Blake Cannon.
Oh, see, now that's interesting as well.
Wait. They're going to, I think they're going to run a lap. I don't know. This is weird because we're coming to lap 66, and that's when the stage ends. So I don't know if they're trying to get a lap in, Mac, or what.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but, I mean, for the meantime, we are green here at North Wilkesboro. It seems to be a little confusing, but Blake Cannon is out in front. He's going to lead what might be the last lap. I'm not sure. We are still green, so I guess we are just running. We're into the new stage. Travis Everett with a very good move onto Blake Cannon. He's not going to have it stick. He's actually going to kill a lot of his momentum coming out of turns 3 and 4. Coming through as now we go yellow. This might be... No, I take that back. This is not going to be a stage break. Scott Matthews and Joe Bonner have had a moment.
Yeah, I thought I saw tire smoke coming from those when we were looking at them coming to the start-finish line.
Yeah, Scott Matthews going to bang into the O2 of Lancaster. That's going to cause his car to go a little sideways. Who is that? That's Nate Lesko just barely getting by it.
Oh, man.
12 of Chris Toppings is going to take a little bit of damage, and the 22 of Joe Bonner, I assume, is going to have a little bit of contact. Well.
Oh, wow. Wow. We just heard from Chris Toppings that since Nate Lesko pitted, he did not win the stage. Blake Cannon is your stage 1 winner.
Wow, so the points, a pretty much perfect stage from Nate Lesko, but it's going to be all for Nye as Blake Cannon The LNG Power Sports driver going to get that Stage 1 victory. He is up 14 spots from P15 to P1.
Yeah. Talk about a turn of events. And now, with Lesko having that damage, how's that car going to do coming up through the pack, Mac?
I mean, it is anybody's guess, and you know, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes. But we didn't get a chance to show you the championship standings in full, really, so we'll pull those back up here again. Like I said earlier, James McRae in the lead with 327, only 10 points down from him is your current leader, Blake Cannon, and your current P2 driver in the race is P3 in the Drivers' Championship. That's Travis Everett. And Brandon Lopez, who unfortunately is not here this week, is going to sit in P4 with GT Irizarry rounding out that top 5.
Oh, geez, Mac. They're going to give the stage 1 to Nate Lesko.
Okay.
They just came over there and said that we made a mistake, so my apologies. Nate Lesko wins the stage.
Okay.
This is so confusing.
Yeah, very, very interesting. We had VAR go back and look at it, I suppose, but Nate Lesko is going to be your Stage 1 winner. He is not, however, going to get to keep his position. He stays in the back where he is. Well, actually, he's in P6, so he's not that far behind. But Blake Cannon's going to lead us to the start of stage number 2. Travis Everett very close in tow. We are green, lap number 73.
Yeah, and look at Blake Cannon. That car shot out like a rocket as we see Millette get up into the wall just a hair. And now it's just Blake Cannon is showing what your car can do in clean air for sure, Mac.
Yeah, it's very, very fast. And Nate Lesko having a little bit of a moment dropping down into that first lane. He got a little squirmy coming into the corner. So I gotta wonder if maybe his brakes locked up on him or, you know, the tires got out from under him. I'm not entirely sure. But Nate Lesko, he is not having the greatest of starts to stage 2.
Yeah, Lesko, I think that, oh man, there's smoke right there. We must have had some trouble again. But we stay green, Mac, as we see Lesko battling with Travis Everett. He's driving angry, trying to get back up to that front. He wants to win this race.
Yeah, I agree, and there's not many people who can bully Travis Everett off a racing line, but it seems like Nate Lesko might be one of the names that can.
Yeah, look at James Johnson drop down to the inside, trying to take the position away from Patrick. As we see Casey Gross having a little bit of trouble in the background.
Yeah, James Johnson in that 48. He's trying his best to kind of get back up to where he was. He was in P3, might have been in P2 for a second, and Travis Everett still struggling, almost beating the wall down here outside of these corners. And he's going to have, oh, he almost had a run-in with the wall right there, so I'm not sure if this is, you know, intentional from Travis Everett or not, but either way, he is dropping spots, and he is doing it very, very fast.
Well, he got out on that outside line and probably got some marbles up on his tires, so his tires aren't clean. They got debris on them. But, I mean, like you were saying, the thing is that high line has not come into play yet. But as this race goes on, Mac, as the stage goes on, that high line's going to rubber up as many people are starting to use that outside line. Whoa!
Yeah, Billy Jordan.
Into the wall?
No, yeah, Billy Jordan, the Quantum Motorsports driver, and Travis Everett's around. We take our eyes off Travis Everett for 1 second.
I saw that happening. Coming.
As we'll get a good look, Millette just so fast into this corner. Travis Everett tries to set his car down on the line. Millette is just understeering. He has got no sort of direction in that car. He's going to wash way up, and Travis Everett's going to be the unfortunate victim of that move.
Well, we saw Millette get into the wall coming down the front stretch, and he just had too much momentum and drove it in there way too deep. And yeah, Travis Everett's just going to be an innocent victim, innocent bystander in this wreck for sure.
Yeah, and he's going to come into the pits. This is going to be his first stop. Brandon McLaughlin, unfortunately for him, that 81 car has seen the pit road 5 times already in this race.
Wow.
So, not exactly the night Brandon McLaughlin would have wanted for himself.
Yeah, not the night that he wanted, and just having a tough break. As we see McLaughlin, he's ran up in the top 10, top 5 pretty consistently here in the Tobacco Road Next Gen Series, but just not having a good night tonight, Mac.
Yeah, not exactly what you want to see, but he still has a good amount of race left here, so he still got an opportunity. Lights are still going to be on the pace car, and we'll take a second. Shout out to Apex Sim Racing. They are your one-stop shop for all sim racing accessories, whether you need monitors, you need a chassis, you need wheelbase, wheel, rim.
I don't mean to cut you off, Mac, but James Johnson is having an equipment malfunction, and he is stopped on the front stretch. Well, now he's driving, but he had a little bit of a trouble, he said. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. James Johnson losing control of his vehicle for a little bit. Might be a little related to his equipment. Maybe he needs to go buy some new equipment. He would go to apexsimracing.com. He would use code RacerNexus for 5% off his order. Get themselves ready. Also, if you want to know where all these cool cameras that you see on here tonight and across all the Racer Nexus network, that is Track Cams for Gourmets. That's trackcams22.com. The best cams in the business. Shout out to them for hopping on, helping us here at the network. We are green flag running here. Blake Cannon in the number 44. James McRae in the 27. They are side by side through that corner, coming into 3 and 4. Now here comes Lesko, and here comes Malfunction Johnson.
Malfunction Johnson. That's funny. I just want to say, it shows Nate Lesko's racecraft, because he could have easily pushed that 3 wide, but he lifted right there and didn't do it. So shows the craftsmanship that Nate Lesko's got in that car.
Yep, I 100% agree. Nate Lesko never really wanting to force the issue. He always does things kind of on his terms. Speaking of that pass on McRae, very, very opportunistic out of him. The 48 of James Johnson going to try to capitalize, make James McRae drop 2 positions instead of just 1. However, towards the front, Blake Cannon is loving this. If he's looking out of his mirror, all this battling means he has got open road and he can extend that lead.
Yeah, let's go 6/10 off. But, I mean, it's very weird, because now James McRae, and this is what we saw with James McRae when James Johnson was battling for him with second early on. We saw McRae actually having trouble to catch up to Lesko, and now we're seeing it with Lesko as he can't catch up to Blake Cannon, as James McRae's all over his back bumper.
Yeah, it's going down between McRae and Johnson. They are side by side, have been for a few corners now. They're both going to see the wall. Billy Jordan is just nothing but a spectator at this point. The Quantum Motorsports driver is seeing all of this go down. We'll ride on board with Billy Jordan.
Oh, Billy Jordan in the wall.
Yeah, luckily did not mess up the camera position, and, well, unfortunately, we are yellow. So we're not going to go on board with Billy Jordan.
I think it might be Joseph Bonner.
Joe Bonner.
Oh, look at that splitter.
Yeah, he does have a very messed up splitter. We'll go back and take a look. Oh, it's Millette again.
No.
Oh, and a Quantum Motorsports driver. I think that's Casey Gross. Joe Bonner as well. Ay, not good for the likes of Joe Bonner. It's been a very rough night for him. And to be honest, it's been a little bit of a rough season. He always seems to be collected in, this sort of chaos.
Yeah, and the thing is, these guys, they get one fast repair. Well, with all these wrecks, a lot of them have used them. So if something happens, they're going to be up the river with no paddle for sure.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that. Blake Cannon, though, seems to be in clear water as he is sitting in P1. He's got very good pace in that open air, but Nate Lesko, who got awarded the stage win, there was a little bit of controversy in those, 61 to 65 lap range, but he did get the stage win. He is back in P2, and he's coming back for that lead.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting restart with Lesko restarting up high and Cannon down low. How deep does Lesko try to clear Cannon? And I'm about to use a supercross term, but how does he get the whole shot for sure?
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially, you're exactly right. That's what he's got to do. He's got to try to set his car in the corner before Blake Cannon can. He's got to be looking at that car. He's got to be very attentive in what he listens to. When he hears that, Camaro of Blake Cannon start to fire up, that's when he needs to go. And, being on the inside here as P2, if you can read the start well, you're in a very good spot to keep the lead.
Yeah, doing a great job, but here we go right here, back. It's time to see what happens. Oh, interesting. Lesko chose Cannon chose the outside line to go with his teammate.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Blake Cannon, though, very quick on that start, not giving Lesko a chance to even match his acceleration. James Johnson, also with incredible momentum, he might be able to fight for this spot. No, he's gonna concede it to Nate Lesko, but James Johnson, however, put up a very good fight, and here he comes again. James Johnson sticking his car to the inside. He's going to get a little loose. He catches it, though. Tires are going to be on fire for this next corner. He's got to make sure he doesn't repeat the same mistake. But James Johnson, he barely avoids the wall. He's got to get things back under control, but he can't wait too long because James McRae is here trying to take this P3.
Yeah, James McRae's there, but the battle for the lead, I mean, here comes Lesko. He's going to drive her in there on the inside, and he's going to be able to, little bump and bang, but it's short track racing, so that's just short track racing there, Mac. But look at Blake Cannon now drive to the inside, trying to put the crossover on him, Mac, as they come out of 4.
Yeah, it was a very good crossover, very deliberate, and very good run. They're gonna beat and bang. They're side by side heading into turns 1 and 2, lap number 100. We are only halfway through this, folks. If you thought about going away, don't you dare. You sit your butt back in the chair. You're watching the Tobacco Road. This is incredible.
Yeah, sit down, buckle up, get your beverage of choice, get your snack, because we're going for a ride, and Lesko goes to the lead now. But look at this. Will Johnson race his teammate Cannon hard, or will he allow Blake Cannon to try to get back up to Lesko? That is the question, Mac.
I think the gloves might be off. LNG Power Sports, they might be like Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris right now. They might be going to blows even in their own team garage, because these guys are looking fierce, and I know they want to win. I know another guy who wants to win, the 27 of James McRae, arguably your favorite to win this race after what happened last week. James McRae looking for the move on James Johnson. He's got the run. He sets the car on the inside, heading into the corner. Side by side, who's on the throttle first? They're matching it as they come through the front straight again.
How did James Johnson not hit the wall right there, Mac? I mean, he came inches from hitting the wall, but now he's able to clear McRae, and now he can help Blake Cannon catch up to Nate Lesko.
Yeah, James McRae, that was one heck of a try. I tip it indeed. But James Johnson just too fast. And like you said, yeah, he's going to help his teammate Blake Cannon. He's going to help his teammate Blake Cannon try to get up to the leader, Nate Lesko.
Yeah, but that might hurt Cannon, because with Johnson on his back bumper, That's going to make that's going to make the 44 machine very, very loose, as we saw the little wiggle. And you'll see it right here. Yep, got a little loose again. So it's kind of hurting Cannon, but we got a caution.
Yeah, it's going to be the Quantum Motorsports driver, Billy Jordan, as he's going to be running into those water barrels, as we'll go back and take a look at what exactly just happened to him.
Yeah, I think he just got loose again. Yep, that's what it is.
Yep.
Just overcorrected.
Yeah, overcorrected, hitting the outside wall this time. And oh no, Travis Everett's going to catch a piece.
Oh, man. That's hard damage to the 13 machine of Everett.
Yeah, and also going to be hard damage to the 41. That's Billy Jordan. As we have, I believe that's Joe Bonner towards the back of your screen there. Yes, he is going to have a little bit of moment after the yellow flag flies.
Wow. You know, Joseph Bonner, the flagship driver for LNG Power Sports, the owner of LNG Power Sports, just not having the day that we're seeing his other teammates are having, for sure.
Yeah, so towards the back of your screen there, you see Joseph Bonner kind of doing the same thing that Billy Jordan did. No damage was registered on the side of the 22 though, so I think all is good. He's just gonna have a little worse for wear on tires.
Yeah, and just another note about Joseph Bonner, picked up his best finish in the Tobacco Road Next Gen Series last week at Talladega, finishing third.
Oh, wow. Shout out Joe Bonner, man. I didn't get to see that. That's tough, man. I would love to talk to the man, Joe Bonner, man. That is cool. Cool to see. And, yeah, unfortunately, he's not really having... It doesn't seem like that form is kind of continuing into tonight, but he got the good result under his chin now. He can, he can lock in, and he can for sure get a good result anywhere on the calendar.
Yeah, as we see Lesko and Cannon, did they pit?
I believe, yes, Lesko has pit lap 107. Yes, Lesko and Lancaster, a lot of drivers actually pitted P5 through P13. So that's Lancaster, Lesko, Cannon, Matthews, Harris, Toppings, Gross, Irizarry, and defending champion Brayland all pitted on lap 107.
Wow.
And now here we go with the green, a little over halfway through this race. We have 90 laps to go. And as we come down to the nitty-gritty, they're 3 wide for P4 back there. That was Lesko, McLaughlin, and Lancaster. As now Patrick Millett in P3, and that's going to be Nate Lesko into the wall.
Oh, my gosh. Nate Lesko was dominating this race. Oh, man. But we stay green. This is going to hurt him, Mac.
Oh, yes. This is going to hurt him indeed. We are still green, as that is not what Lesko needed to see. I thought we would go yellow there for sure. As we'll go back and take a look here. Here's the replay. Nate Lesko just a little loose coming out of turn number 4. And yeah, he kept a good race speed. He tucked himself to the inside. So yeah, I respect race control David Bush for not throwing the yellow. But man, does that hurt Nate Lesko.
Yeah, that definitely hurts Nate Lesko. And now, I mean, he's starting to drop it like a rock. He's going to have to bring it in, Mac.
Yeah, there's a very good chance he's going to have to bring that in for damage repair. James Johnson now, he's been very aggressive. He's been, just to be honest, he's been very good here tonight. He has got himself already up to a half-second lead over James McRae.
Yeah, he's definitely been really good, as we've seen tonight.
And now Blake Cannon down to the inside of James McRae. He's on the fresher tires. So Blake Cannon is going to be very, very quick. Last lap running very, very quick compared to the other guys, McRae and Johnson, who have not pitted yet. I think there was a little bit of contact at the back of your screen. I think maybe that was Lancaster and Irizarry maybe getting into it. No harm, no foul. They are going to keep going as Blake Cannon is now chasing down James Johnson, and he's probably going to be in the realm to make a move here in about 2 or 3 laps, Emmett.
Yeah, and I just want to add, Joseph Botter letting us know in the chat that Patrick Millette is now a LNG Power Sports driver.
Hey, well, that is cool to hear.
New team member.
Yes, sir. It's always nice seeing a fresh face in the camp. So Patrick Millette, the number 8 driver, going to be driving for LNG Power Sports. I expect to see that on his car in the next week or so. That'll be really cool to get with the artist team and the, the design team over at LNG Power Sports to get something made. That's going to be a pass for the lead. That's the number 44 of Blake Cannon, passing his teammate in the 48, James Johnson.
Yeah, now Blake Cannon, I think he'd rather see that 48 than any other car behind him as he tries to get away from the field in this clean air.
Yeah, I mean, top 3 seems to be LNG Power Sports. You got Blake Cannon, you got James Johnson, and you got the new face around the block, Patrick Millette, in P3. So it's going to be a top 3. Can we see a full LNG podium here tonight?
Yeah, that'd be something. And I know team owner Mr.
Oh,
Joseph.
no! Oh, and that's going to be, I think that's the 12 of Chris Toppings who got collected there. No, I take that back. That's Gary Braylon who got collected. Oh, no.
And stopped right in front of Nate Lesko. I don't think there's any damage to that hood, but that could have been even worse for Mr. Lesko.
Yeah, it's Scott Matthews. I mean, I hate to say it, but just kind of straight-lined the 8 of Millette.
Oh, man.
And that's going to spell disaster for a couple drivers here. Gary Brayland, one that, he wasn't even part of it, and he's going to be collected. So that's really sad to see. And now your temporary leader here, Brad Harris. Quack Pack driver, Brad Harris. Part of Quack Pack Racing. It seems like Quack Pack, they always kind of run into, bad luck. And it always seems to be one of their drivers being, randomly collected like we just saw. So it's nice to see Brad Harris, who I don't think we've seen up front here in a few weeks. It's good to see him back where, I think everybody knows he kind of belongs towards the top of the grid.
Yeah, definitely belongs at the top of the grid. Sorry, I had a Amber Alert come across my phone, so I had to clear it out real quick.
Oh, yeah, that is understandable, very understandable. As we have about 75 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro before we crown a winner. And so far, with everything you've seen, Emmett, if you had to toss it up to one person, who do you think is the favorite to win the race right now?
Well, Blake Cannon has shown that he is the dominant driver now that Lesko's got caught up in some trouble. But I don't know. It's a toss-up between McRae, Cannon, and Johnson.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think I would agree with that. I am going to personally put my vote towards Blake Cannon. I mean, he's checked every single box tonight. He has been very, very good. I would have maybe said Nate Lesko if, the last 2 incidents around him didn't happen. But as of right now, it seems like Blake Cannon has got the entire grid in the palm of his hands.
Yeah, now we see... Oh, this could be trouble for Cannon as Brad Harris didn't come in and got shuffled out to the top. Yeah. And when they went through... Oh, we got... Who's that wrecking back there? Oh, my gosh, they're still wrecking. James Johnson in it.
Oh, no. James Johnson, he is going to be turned around on track in turn number 1.
But that's what I was talking about, Mac. I saw him pushing it And I was like, oh, dang, they're 3 wide. And, you know, as a driver, anytime you're 3 wide, you get a little nervous. But then I saw it. I was like, this could be huge. But, man.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look. James Johnson here as, oh my goodness, that's just going to be a case of the, you know, he was being followed too close, the car behind. You know, when you're following that close, you gotta brake, you gotta slow down earlier than the guy in front of you, because if you go off when he does, you're just gonna run into the back of him, and that's exactly what we saw there, as they were just bundled up too tight.
Yeah, just a little too tight right there. And man, this is it's getting kind of spooky out there, Mac.
Yeah, we're seeing a whole lot of cautions here. 11th caution of the night. And, you know, like we said, if we go short, it's not really going to help the side of Nate Lesko. We've had a short-based run here tonight. We haven't really had very many, you know, long green flag runs. We had one, and it saw Nate Lesko leading almost every single bit of it. And the correlation to that is we haven't really had that yet. Nate Lesko struggling to get back to the top. He sits in P4, but, you know, where could he be if we had maybe 4 cautions instead of 11?
Yeah, and that's what's going to help Lesko as these cautions continue to come out and to get it back up to the front. But, I mean, look at that nose. There's a lot of damage to that nose, so that's going to hurt him on the straights and reduce his speed. So, I mean, he's staying out to save the fast repair. I get it, but you might have to come in and just get the optional repair on pit road.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a good idea. Nate Lesko, I don't know if how it sits right now, he has got a car that can realistically win this race. I mean, we'll have to find out. We will find out very, very shortly. We go green for a 12th time here at North Wilkesboro in the Tobacco Road Next Gen Cup Series. Blake Cannon leading us up, and away.
Oh my gosh. What a run by James McRae. Now he's going to use that momentum, trying to get to the inside, but not going to be able to do it, as he's going to try to go outside with the help of Nate Lesko.
Yeah, Nate Lesko made very quick work of Brad Harris, who is on pretty old tires compared to the rest of the grid, so it was bound to happen. Nate Lesko has inserted himself back into the fray. Lap times are not...
Lancaster's hitting pit road.
That is not looking very, very good because of the damage on his car.
Yeah, not looking good. It's, once again, sorry to cut you off, but I saw Lancaster dive to pit road, so I think that might be a scheduled stop, but you never know with these cars.
Yeah, that is 100% certain. Nate Lesko, the only thing I am certain of is that he is going to give his all to get this race lead back. Blake Cannon has got 2 very hungry drivers behind him. James McRae taking a look at the outside, going towards that top shelf. He's not going to get anything to fall there, as he didn't really have the momentum to get something done around the top side. And now look at the smarts of Blake Cannon, setting his car just a tad bit higher up on the racetrack, blocking that, you know, second lane overtake that James McRae would have probably opted for had he not done that. So Blake Cannon being very, very defensive, being very, very good about where he's placing his race car.
Yeah, and I wish we could see the telemetry, because it looks like Cannon's braking early to get the corner exit faster, but looks like McRae is just rolling through the corner to keep that speed and keep up with him as the caution comes out again for the 13th time, Mac.
Yeah, well, it's going to be the 12th time, actually. Our 12th caution. It is going to be Joe Bonner, LNG Power Sports. We'll take a look. Heading into the corner, and he's going to get turned. Scott Matthews in the number 7. To be fair,
man.
To be fair, There wasn't much he could have done about it. Joe Bonner was moving lanes a little bit, under braking, just one of those kind of racing incident deals. You hate to see it. Nate Lesko, after getting all that work done, into the pits.
Yeah, Lesko hits pit road, but the interesting thing is Cannon and McRae and Harris and Irizarry all stayed out.
Yeah, which is a little strange. Harris on lap 107, he pitted last, so he is currently sitting at about 33 laps into his run. He has not pitted in yet. Nate Lesko was on slightly older tires than the rest of the grid, but I didn't think it was enough to warrant a stop here. Maybe Nate Lesko is thinking, with 60 or 59 laps left to go, this might be our final caution. Maybe he's gearing up towards a long run to the checkered flag.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if Harris is thinking that we're going to do these short runs, and that's why he's saving his tires. But it's interesting strategic call from Cannon and McRae to stay out, and Lesko came in, which is kind of odd, as we didn't see Lesko come in that first stage.
Yeah, I do agree. I feel like maybe Nate Lesko is maybe balancing two strategies. I don't think maybe he can decide which one he wants to run, as it seems like maybe he was going for, a conservative finish towards the start when he didn't pit, but now opting towards maybe a more aggressive finish. So that's just the balance that you have to work when you're in these, situations, Emmett. You can't predict yellow flags, and the strategy that you wanted to go into, maybe it's not going to be there to play. As we get set.
It's just...
Oh, I apologize.
You're good. I was a little confused, to be honest.
Well, green flag is in the air. We start again here at North Wilkesboro. 57 laps to go. James McRae down on the inside, trying to make something work on the 44 of Blake Cannon. It's not going to be seen through, though. Blake Cannon with the incredible momentum on every single exit. That's going to be a big wreck. That's a lot of drivers being collected.
Oh, let's go. Wow. But this helps Lesko out because the caution came out this time. 13th caution, by the way. But it helps Lesko out because the last time the caution didn't come out.
Yes, that is true. That is very, very crazy. We'll go back and take a look. Might have to take a look at it multiple times to kind of get an idea of what exactly happened. Whoa.
I think Everett might have got some contact from Brayland. We'll have to take a look at that, Mac, and see for sure.
Oh, I apologize. I'm clicking the wrong buttons. Here we go. In the view of Gary Brayland, defending champion.
Oh, James Johnson.
Yeah, James Johnson's going to be the root of the issue. Travis Everett going to be once again just kind of collected. Brandon McLaughlin taking a big brunt of that force. There's Casey Gross. He's going to get hit in the right rear quarter panel. There's Millette, new LNG Power Sports driver. Towards the bottom of your screen, that was Nate Lesko spinning around as well. So all, drivers that have had their fair share of turmoil tonight that do belong up towards the front, they all just seem to keep collecting each other.
Yeah, just, man.
Yeah, that's very, very sad for the likes of Nate Lesko and James Johnson. As we get set here, lap number 148, as these drivers cross the line. Almost 3/4 of the way through with the race here tonight. It's been another banger in the Tobacco Road Next Gen Cup Series. As I feel like I'm word vomiting when I say that series. I think they had a shorter name that they had told me. I think it's the Tobacco Road Cup Series. I think is what they're wanting to call it. I keep wanting to say the next gen. But how long is the next gen before it's the current gen? That's the paradox. But here we go. Green flag running. 53 laps to go. Blake Cannon opting for the inside instead of the outside this time because of how good James McRae has been on the inside. GT Irizarry, who's had a little bit of a quiet night, he has managed to just kind of survive, and he has found himself in the top 3.
Yeah, Irizarry, you know, we haven't talked about him much, just quietly making his way up here. Now he's in the top 3. But the interesting thing, Mac, is what I've seen on these restarts. As we see Lesko just trying to get shot out of a rocket coming back up to the front. But the interesting thing is McRae each time has tried to move Blake Cannon out of the way. Not dirty, and Cannon has really, you know, played great defense towards it as Brad Harris goes around.
Yeah, it looks like we've had a little bit of a moment. Casey Gross, Brad Harris, Chad Lancaster, all gonna be collected here. We'll go back and take a look. As Brad Harris, just gonna kind of get used as a wall by defending champion Braylon. That's gonna be really unfortunate. Gary Braylon just unfortunately messing the corner up entirely. He's going to collect Brad Harris as a reward or as a curse if you're on the side of Brad Harris. Casey Gross, I believe it might have told us he crashed just because he came to a complete stop. Yes, and Chad Lancaster, going to be the same.
He was driving that thing into the wall.
So,
if you take a look at it, Casey Gross, I saw him coming into the picture. Not Casey Gross, Lancaster. Watch Lancaster right here after the spin. Watch him driving into the wall right here, Mac.
Yep. Hey, friction is the fastest way to get something stopped. So, good on him. You know, that's a lot of the damage that he avoided by taking that right side wall damage. So, I mean, it seems like a good play to me.
Well, here's the thing. So, when I watched it from that angle, it looked like Lancaster had a tire or something go down because that car just shot straight into the wall. Like, it turned right. Just right into the wall. And, I mean, the only time I've seen that is if something breaks or if there's a tire down. And I think that's why Lancaster, he tried to get off the wall. So, I think he didn't mean to hit the wall right there. It just played into his favor, Mac.
Oh, so just an unexpected meeting with our good friend Barry R. So good to see him again. He is doing well as always. He's always protecting us here at the race circuits. Big shout out to Mr. Barry. And Blake Cannon in the 44. He's still in the lead here. Now he opts to choose the outside instead of the inside. And it's weird because I thought maybe the inside start, I thought he looked a little better. So we'll see here. We're coming around the final corner. Cars need to get stacked up. They do just that. Scott Matthews leaving a little bit of room to maybe jump the start. Not sure how big of a no-no that is in this league, but seemed like he was intentionally leaving the gap. But, well, that is not up to me. I just see the view from up here, and there are your 3 favorites, Cannon, McRae, and Lesko. Lesko has gone through trials and tribulations this race, but he is still here, and same with James Johnson, who is all the way back into P5. I mean, these guys, Cannon, McRae, Lesko, James Johnson, they have just been in a league of their own tonight, Emmett.
Yeah, the only car that hasn't had any trouble, I hope I did not curse him for that, but is Blake Cannon. I mean, we've seen, well, McRae had a little trouble, but Nate Lesko has been through it, and what a race he's had, and it just shows with these longer races how your day can, I mean, just a roller coaster of events, Mac.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, there were times I have thought Nate Lesko's going to win this race, and then I have thought he's going to lose this race like 4 times each. just in the span of the first 100 laps. So it really has been a roller coaster. He's going to get by James McRae. I think McRae might have actually wanted that to happen. It looked like he was kind of seceding the position rather than fighting for it. So we'll have to see. James McRae might have a little bit of a cheeky strategy up his belt. He's maybe going to let Nate Lesko use all of his stuff up to catch our leader, and seemingly can do no wrong.
We got some tire smoke.
Blake Cannon.
Yeah, and then also I've noticed that James McRae, he'll drive it way deep into one, trying to get that run and trying to get that momentum where he can make that move. As watch right here, Mac. Watch James McRae. Well, it didn't show that. See it right there. I mean, that car, he drives it in there so deep, trying to get that run off the corner exit. But now it's going to hurt him burning up his stuff later on, Mac.
Yeah, I agree. We got a little bit more smoke here on the front straight. We had a moment here with Joe Bonner. We'll go back and take a look at it. Joe Bonner just not really having a very good night here tonight, and it's just going to continue as he's going to be a little too hard on the throttle on exit. And that's going to spell disaster for the LNG Power Sports owner, Joe Bonner.
Yes, we see right here, Joe Bonner. And the thing is, his car's in the lead, so he was trying to get out of there as quick as he could. And he was able to drive away, but there's still a lot of smoke down there, Mac, on that front stretch.
Yeah.
Oh, something's wrong with Chris Perry.
Oh, yeah, Chris Perry having a little bit of a moment. As Blake Cannon now goes around. Oh, no, Blake Cannon, your leader. Emmett, you've cursed him. No damage. No damage, no more. That left front side is scrunched up like a bully just took his lunch money.
Well, here's the thing, like, I kept thinking, I was like, that track's got to be slick with all those tire marks, and yeah, that's what happened. There's just got to be a little bit of debris on the track. Got into the marbles, and look at that, though. I mean, look how many cars we've lost on the front stretch.
Yeah, it's been a lot, and, you know, to be honest, kind of looks like it didn't do too much damage there. I mean, I'm sure under the wrap, I'm sure there is a lot of damage as Blake Cannon is going to bring it into the pits. So sad as we go yellow for the 15th time here tonight.
Yeah, it's so weird, you know, but he's going to get it fixed. He's got a fast repair. So he'll be back up here, but it's just crazy how I don't know how they didn't throw the caution though when we saw Bonner spin out and then put that debris on the track, and it just shows, Mac, how big how the track is generated on this sim. It's just almost realistic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. The tire physics, the road physics, all of that stuff, very, very good. It's always been amazing. Well, I wouldn't say always, but they have cracked down on it. They have fine-tuned. They have researched. They have developed. They've done everything. They have put a really good, track physics, tire physics. The model for that stuff is amazing. And, I mean, these guys over at the iRacing Official Service, they do the Lord's work, man. I mean, they deliver the best driving simulation you can get. And, it's amazing to see, man. I love this service.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I mean, and then the thing is, the fact that, like what we're doing, I mean, the fact that you can broadcast these races, and, if you think that you want to get into commentary, well, you can't get into the local track. Well, there's always iRacing that you can practice your commentary at.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is so cool.
Oh, look at the shot.
Yeah, we get set to go green here. Nate Lesko, James Johnson. They're going to go to war. James Johnson unfortunately going to hit his throttle at a bad time. He's going to be a little loose coming to the start-finish line. He is blinking.
Oh, Casey Gross.
As I
Something
think
happened to Casey Gross.
Yeah, I think you are right. I don't know what it was. I can't see anything on my event viewer. We'll have to go back and take a look here very shortly. But GT Irizarry and Brad Harris are having a big fight. They want P2 from James Johnson very, very badly.
Yeah, they do. And sorry to cut you off once again, Mac, but I just saw the 77 just slow it up big time. So I knew there was something wrong as we see McRae drive to the inside of Harris. Now GT's in a great spot because, you know, as we see Blake Cannon, he's driving up to the front back because he's hungry.
Yeah, 28 laps to go. We'll try to find that Casey Gross incident very, very quick here. As unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to find it. I do apologize for that. Didn't mean for Joe Bonner to catch any more strays. That was not my intention to show that happening again. But Nate Lesko off to a fantastic start to the run. 26 laps left. If you are James Johnson, you are really wanting a yellow flag. But if you're Nate Lesko, you are praying that that Barney flagman keeps waving it green.
Well, we look at the trends that we've had. Oh, there goes Blake Cannon again.
Blake.
Oh, he saved it.
Yeah, Blake Cannon, that was a little weird. I mean, I looked over. I didn't see any tire smoke or anything, but Blake Cannon now fighting with GT Irizarry.
I was going to say, I saw the contact, and I just saw that 44 shooting into the wall, but what a save by Cannon.
Yeah, I mean, that is incredible. Blake Cannon, he is now starting to kind of feel what Nate Lesko felt for the first 3 quarters of this race. It's still very, very doable for Blake Cannon. He's only got 23 laps to get something done, however, because Nate Lesko is currently out in his own world.
Yeah, these guys racing real tight. You know, these guys could get a caution.
Oh,
there it is.
Well,
and
that's something. You just basically spawned that out of your sentences. That's crazy. Gary Braylon, defending champion, is credited for the crash. We'll see what happens. Yep, Travis Everett, Millette as well, getting caught up.
And that's going to DQ Gary Braylon due to accident limit.
Oh no, defending champion Gary Braylon is out. That is not what you want to see. That is going to be a very, very dark stain on what has already been not the best season for defending champion Gary Braylon.
Yeah, tough break for Gary Braylon, but James McRae and look at this, Blake Cannon already back up to 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Cannon has got something cooking here. So does James McRae. So does Lesko. It's going to be very, very cool to see how this plays out as we get set here. 18 laps, maybe going to be 17 by the time we go green.
Yeah, and it's just going to be that. I think that front stretch is going to come into play, though, Mac.
Yeah, I think you are right. I think the I don't know. Like, I don't want to say anything because the commentary curse has been very, very real tonight. So I don't want I seriously do not want to say anything, but what I do expect to happen is I think Lesko and McRae are going to be very, very defensive with one another, that I think they're going to be blind to a Blake Cannon attack maybe 2 laps to go or maybe on the last lap. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a double overtake by Cannon to win this thing.
Yeah, Blake Cannon, I think he's a smart driver, so I don't think he's going to be that aggressive as we saw McRae has been on these restarts. But Cannon's going to get to the front, but he's going to do it silently but deadly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. The analogy used to describe Taco Bill farts is now being used in the sim racing space. I do like that. I love a good old food reference, but we go green for the 17th time. No, I'm not talking John Cena, but it is the 17th time we go green here at North Wilkesboro. They're 3 wide for P2, and it's all the usual suspects. GT Irizarry is going to get washed up the track by Blake Cannon, and, you know, GT Irizarry, very good driver, James Johnson, with a little bit of oversteer. He is going to catch it, though. But I was saying GT Irizarry, very good driver, but he just has not been on the level of these top 3 here tonight. Here we go, 16 laps to go. It's going to be a war between these 3 drivers.
Well, the thing is about GT, if you look at the front of the nose of his car, it is smushed in, so that's going to hurt his aero and reduce his straightaway speed, Max. So that's what's hurting GT right now. So if we get a caution, if I'm GT,
McRae's around.
Oh, save it! Ah!
Oh man, we are yellow. James McRae going to take minimal damage. But wow, that's going to be a thorn in the side for him.
You know, I don't blame Blake Cannon because James McRae has been playing bumper cars with Cannon's bumper, and that was not there was no contact. That was just netcode.
Yeah, well, I don't even think it was netcode. I think James McRae kind of just lost it.
And once again, where was it, Mac? On the front stretch.
Yeah, it's that turn number 4 exit. It's getting all of these drivers. Shout out to the drivers, though, for being able to dodge that. I mean, James McRae was kind of being squirmy, but I see it. I understand why. He needed his car to be safe. He's got a chance to win this race. So I'm not saying that is a bad move on him to try to save his car, but very good on the side of the drivers for recognizing that, being able to get around it.
What a save, though, by James McRae. I think that caution might have been a little premature, though, because it looked like McRae was able to save it. But
well, I think it was a matter
that's why I'm a commentator and I'm not a race control.
Yeah, I think it was. If we go back and take a look, I think it was more of a matter of the speed that he got down to. Because part of the things on a caution flag is you've got to be going race speed, and right here he's going 15, 20 miles an hour on a racing surface. So,
and the thing is also we saw how many cars were behind him. So, yeah, David Bush, great job on the call, throwing the flag. I don't doubt you one bit on that call, man.
Yeah, David Bush, once again, doing a great job as race control. He's very new to the gig, been doing a fantastic job. So, big shout out to David Bush III for his race control prowess tonight. Lap number 191, starting lights are out on the pace car. They're going to try to get this race resumed as soon as possible. They want as many green flag laps towards the end as they can. We'll be going green for an 18th time. And much like we've seen throughout every single point of the race tonight, Nate Lesko, Blake Cannon, James Johnson, they're only missing Mr. James McRae. But, I mean, it's been the usual suspects, man. These guys are quick here tonight. GT Irizarry just pounding the back of Nate Lesko's ride as Blake Cannon chose to wait a little bit, and he and James Johnson gonna both run into the wall.
Look at the shot he got.
Yeah, the shot he got off the wall was crazy. He's down in front of Lesko. That could not have been any closer. 8 laps to go now, and we have officially taken the gloves off. It is war for these 3 drivers.
Yeah, and now with Cannon in the lead, his teammate James Johnson trying to get second. Oh, they're wrecking in the back.
Yeah, Casey Gross, Lancaster. Oh, no. 12 of Chris Toppings
Scott
as well.
Matthews.
Scott Matthews as well.
Boss man Chris Toppings.
Yeah, the big boss.
Boss Hog.
As 77 of Casey Gross gonna have contact with the 7 of Matthews
man.
there. Chris Toppings, unfortunately, just collected all the way through. And Chad Lancaster being hit in the back by, I'm not entirely sure who that actually
Chris
is.
Perry.
Chris Perry, yes, Chris Perry, who's had a quiet night, and that's not going to help him in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that was interesting right there.
Yeah, very, very interesting indeed.
So here's the thing. Joe Bonner's going to get the free pass, and now he's going to be three or four laps down.
Yeah.
And he's the only car a lap down that's still in the race, other than Chris Perry, who's 23 laps down.
Well, very, very interesting. That could mean something here. I mean, if we keep having caution after caution, if we have 4 more, Joe Bonner might be able to get himself back on the lead lap. That would be something. And I mean, we're about to restart here for a 19th time. So I have no doubt that we can maybe get 4 more cautions out of this thing.
Well, you know what they say, cautions breed cautions, and interesting move that Blake Cannon, as I heard him negotiating with Nate Lesko about where he wanted to start. He told him he'll go to the bottom because he doesn't want to win it like that on the top. So, interesting move by Blake Cannon to go to the inside line.
Well, interestingly enough, he says win it like that on the top, but in my opinion, I think bottom is the better spot to be. And the James Johnson, James Johnson with a little bit of a push on his teammate Blake Cannon, and then he's just gonna straight line into Nate Lesko. We stay green. I mean, the shotgun kick to start the green flag run, that's one thing, but then to kind of just straight line the rival into turn 1, that's a little bit of another one. That might be up to the steward's discretion. They're going to keep battling. Nate Lesko, James Johnson, down the starting stretch we go. We have a yellow flag. We're going to go all over again.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Lesko, they were all chatting it up before the restart, but Lesko was fired up when he saw that move by Johnson. And then what they just did, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that.
As we take a look now back at Chris Perry and Joe Bonner, they're just going to have a meeting of the minds in the middle of the track. And, wow, I don't think this race could go any worse for these two drivers.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But here's the thing, though. If Bonner doesn't get the EOL, that's another lucky dog. He'll be 3 laps down.
Yeah. Hey, that is true. That is true. But no, it looks like Chad Lancaster might be our lucky dog, as he is further up the grid than Joe Bonner, it says. So, I'm not. Well, actually, I take that back. Chad Lancaster has just disqualified due to incidents.
I was about to say, I just looked over and I saw that Lancaster was out. So,
oh no! So the disqualification flag strikes again here at North Wilkesboro, man.
So here's the interesting thing, Mac. If Blake Cannon starts on the inside line, he's going to have Nate Lesko behind him. And whichever line he picks, he's going to have Lesko behind him. Here's my deal, okay? Does LNG Power Sports talk it out and James Johnson moves down behind Cannon to block Lesko.
I think they're definitely having conversations about exactly that right now. Good news for us race fans. And if you're tuned in, if you've watched the entirety, it all comes down to this. Next time around will be the final time we start. It's going to be our 20th start of the race here at North Wilkesboro. 200 laps. It all comes down to this. Green, white, checkered. We are in overtime in the Tobacco Road Cup Series. Blake Cannon comes to the line. The world has been in his hands all night. He is going to pull the button early. And we are now green for the last time here at North Wilkesboro. James Johnson going to go around, and we are yellow leaders around.
Gosh.
GTE Rosari having a little bit of a moment. James McRae now effectively leading the race. I mean, obviously, things are going to get changed because of the yellow flag, but wow, what was that?
That's what I'm wondering, Mac. I don't know what James Johnson was thinking, driving it that hard on the outside. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, James Johnson, he is, he is something else. These late race decisions have been strictly for the team, as Nate Lesko with a fantastic run into the inside to match Blake Cannon, and James Johnson is just Ross Chastaining around this outside wall. I agree with you, Emmett. I'm not entirely sure what he was thinking. That's going to lead to a whole bunch of calamity in the middle of the track. Blake Cannon's going to end up turned around, I should say. And that was very chaotic. And, oh, GTE Rosari is going to go flying, too.
Yeah, Irizarry into the wall, hard contact. But, I mean, if I'm Blake Cannon, I'm just telling James Johnson, asking him, dude, what were you doing? And here's the crazy thing, Mac. James Johnson is now the race leader.
This is a Game of Thrones kind of plot twist. The entire race, James Johnson has been at Blake Cannon's beck and call. He has done everything for the sake of Blake Cannon getting this win, and now arguably his fault that Blake Cannon is no longer in the lead. And to make things worse and to rub salt on the wound for the LNG Power Sports camp, James Johnson is now leading this race.
Yeah, I still don't understand why James Johnson tried to go to the outside and push it 3 wide right there. I don't understand that. That's definitely going to be interesting in the post-race interviews for sure.
Yeah, and I agree. And iRacing official pace car off the track. Our 21st start is going to see James Johnson for the first time leading us away, and he's going to spin on throttle as soon as we get started.
He tried to shoot to the high side and block McRae, and he ended up paying the price. That's what happened the last time. He tried to push it, and he spun the tires, and then he couldn't get to the throttle, got to the throttle too quick. Just like I was talking about, Mac, it's all about throttle control, and we just saw it right there on the front stretch. Once again, front stretch, car spins out.
Yeah, you're right. I don't understand. James Johnson, it's almost like, I don't even know. I don't know how to say it, and that's going to be the checkered flag, I think, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, checkered flag is being waved. James McRae, for the second week in a row, right?
Back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to back.
James McRae in a world of, I don't even know what to call that. In a world of chaos, is going to see himself with a yellow and checkered win here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Blake Cannon now.
Oh, no. It was a love tap.
Oh, okay. Respect from Blake Cannon. GTE Rosari is going to be backwards.
Spinning on the pits. What is going on?
Your guess is as good as mine, and it as James McRae is gonna take this race home.
Oh my gosh. I can't even speak, Mac. I'm just in a glass case of emotion over here.
Yeah, I mean, James Johnson had every right to win that. I mean, how he got there was a little controversial, but he had every right to win. All he needed to do was bring the car around safe, and he spins out on throttle at the drop of the green flag, and we have ourselves a checkered under caution.
We have two cars that got DNQ'd. Never happened in the Tobacco Road Series. Had that happen tonight, man, what? You know, you would think that last week at Talladega would be the crazy race, but this race right here, Mac, was even crazier than last week at Talladega.
Yeah, I mean, you got that right. I'm still speechless. I'm trying to find the words to describe what we just watched.
I know. I'm just like, I've never seen that. I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to block, but I mean, why would you take yourself out of the race doing that? Because you're in the lead, just go into the inside, then get up to the car when your car's up to speed. Don't do it when you're coming to a restart. I don't understand.
Yeah, that is strange, but I do believe, Emmett, you did walk down to victory lane. I think you've got James McRae here for an interview.
Well, James McRae, man, talk about being at the right place at the right time, going back to back. Talk about this race, because me and Mac are speechless still.
I don't even have words either, man. It's I was just trying to survive. I knew I wasn't the fastest tonight, so Blake or Lesko or Cannon, they should have probably been the ones up there or up here in victory lane. Either one of them were real quick. I thought I was quick when I got into practice, but then they showed up.
Talk about
yeah, like you said, man. Right place, right time, I guess. You know, what can I say? I can't get any luckier. 2 weeks in a row.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, will your girlfriend go buy you one of those collectibles, one of them Godzilla deals?
They got to come out first. You know,
yeah.
They announced this collab last year and just haven't put out a single bit of merch. But I love Godzilla, so like, come on now, where's it at?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll tell you, man, it was crazy because I know this interview's taking a little bit longer, but I'm still trying to dissect this. So, you and Cannon got together at the first, and then, because that happened, and then all of a sudden we saw James Johnson make the move where I was like, okay, he's going to help Cannon out. And then all of a sudden, Cannon gets taken out, and then Johnson makes the craziest move I've ever seen on a restart when you're not up to speed. Trying to block, trying to block you, wasn't it?
I think it was Everett, if I'm not mistaken, or GT. I don't know. There were so many position changes. So like, I thought he just spun his tires or something, you know, just real excited on the restart, but I haven't gone back and taken a look at it yet.
Well, his car turned right to block you. And when he did that, that's when he went around because he wasn't up to speed. But okay, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank out there?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Chris Toppin is an admin guys, all the admin team putting on the league. You guys broadcasting, y'all do a phenomenal job, and going to be there tomorrow to drive a Civic around. And then of course my girlfriend and my mom out there watching. Love y'all, and yeah, this is for y'all.
Well, we got. I was going to say we got a shout out from June K4335 says, "Woohoo! Way to go, number 27." So you got a little fan out there.
Yeah. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, it's your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I asked you last week how you felt about your chances at North Wilkesboro. Now, how do you feel about your chances at Homestead? Are we going to see 3 in a row?
I'm not going to call it like that. Homestead usually is pretty good, but I can never can tell. Blake and let's go Blake, Everett, Irizarry, they're all quick every week. Lopez, and everybody, Scott Matthews tonight was real quick too. So it's like anybody can be quick any day of the week or any week here.
All right. Well, congrats on the win and go celebrate. And we'll see you next week at Homestead, man.
Alrighty. Take care.
No problem, Mac.
That was your race winner there, James McCray. We had Travis Everett in the waiting room. I'm not sure where he went. We'll see if he hops back in here in a second. But I just wanted to say, if not, Travis Everett, someone who went through a ton of turmoil during that race here tonight. He had a whole bunch of lows. He had a whole bunch of highs. But, the highest being, he found himself in P2. We'll go back and take a look as that happened. You see James Johnson, we're starting. Travis Everett right there in a prime position. And yeah, just when he spins the tires, I mean, Travis Everett, he had a lot of speed going into that corner. If he could have set his car for that corner, it would have been a fantastic run. Maybe the race win for him. But he has not hopped back into the interview channel, so we're going to call it there, folks. Hope you had a fantastic time watching the Tobacco Road Cup Series here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's been one heck of a time. It's always fantastic to race at the ever so iconic North Wilkesboro Speedway. Opened in May of 1947, brought back just a few years ago in what seemed like a video game restoration project. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his team got it done. iRacing developers are very quick to get it in the game after that, so big shout out to the iRacing official service for that. Also, big shout out to Apex Sim Racing for hopping on board the network as a sponsor. You can use code RACERNEXUS for 5% off on their website. That is your one-stop shop for all sim racing accessories. They've got a bundle builder too if you want to get into the sim racing genre. Get yourself a little setup. Big shout out to Track Cams for Gourmets as well. That's trackcams22.com. They provide all the car and track cameras that you saw here tonight and across all of the Racer Nexus broadcast network. Week number 8 in the books for the Tobacco Road Sim Racing Cup Series. Next week, we do go to Homestead. It's going to be fun. It's going to be high line, wall drafting, all that good stuff. And from me and my partner, Emmett, on behalf of the Racer Nexus Broadcast Network, we appreciate you coming out. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for inviting us into your home here on this Wednesday night. Make sure you're back same time next Wednesday to catch more of the Tobacco Road Cup Series. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you in the next one.